Welcome everyone to PTW Iron Man. This highly anticipated show has got everybody fired up. Oh, it's now, whoa, a moonsault, but nobody home. And now the Anaconda Vice locked in. The shoulders are down, and he wins it. CM Punk outsmarted Kevin Owens. Big E has come to the aid of the New Day, and the New Day retain their Tag Team Championships 619 a second time, and the cover for a new champion. Yes, he has done it. Rey Mysterio is the new United States champion. As this triple threat matchup set to get underway, Morrison, Styles, and Sami Zayn. But oh, wait a minute! Sami Zayn, the Haruva kick to his rival, AJ Styles. But Styles caught him, and he has him up, and the Styles clash. Starship Pain here, Morrison, nobody home, but now you're Zayn, Haruva kick. And AJ Styles, phenomenal forearm. And it could be Sami Zayn's moment. Looking for the Haruva kick here. Zayn is down, and Morrison, Starship Pain. AJ Styles and Sami Zayn threw everything at each other and at Jon Morrison. But Morrison tonight retains his title. Welcome everyone to PTW Brutality episode 19, and tonight we promise to change the landscape coming off an action-packed PTW Iron Man pay-per-view. We saw many exciting developments, including a new United States champion, but it does not stop there, because tonight we have two championship matches, including the PTW Championship on the line. Jon Morrison defends against Sami Zayn. And then the Tag Team Championships also, the New Day, they defend their titles against the Revival, a team they have never been able to beat. We'll see if they can do it tonight. But also six-man tag team action. The new U.S. champion Rey Mysterio teams with John Cena and The Big Show against Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, and Christian. And then women's division action. Trish Stratus and Bayley, both women vying for championship opportunities here. And this match could go a long way for their momentum. But we kick things off here tonight with the prize fighter Kevin Owens. And I can only imagine that this man has a lot to say. Of course, at PTW Iron Man, he went to war with CM Punk, but he came out the loser in that matchup after CM Punk snuck a pinfall out of the Anaconda Vice. Well, not only is it gonna happen again, this time it's gonna be no holds barred between CM Punk and Kevin Owens at our next pay-per-view, Ignorance No Bliss. And that one, I can only imagine how brutal it will be between these two heated rivals. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our first matchup of the evening. The Tag Team Championships are on the line. The New Day defend their titles against the Revival. Now, the Revival did come up on the short end in the triple threat match at PTW Iron Man, unable to win those Tag Team Championships and become 3-time champions. But in one-on-one tag team action, the Revival have never lost to the New Day. You've heard them say it themselves, and I've gone and checked, and it's true. Every time they've faced off, the Revival have defeated the New Day, and now Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, they believe they can do it again. Rusev and Sheamus won't be involved in the matchup this time, and we'll see if the Revival can become 3-time tag team champions. But of course, this is not the same old New Day that we've come to know in the past. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are better than ever since capturing those tag team titles, firing on all cylinders as we saw at PTW Iron Man, where Big E came to the aid of his brothers after it looked like there was some dissension within the team building for weeks. But now that the three of them are seemingly on the same page again, you can only imagine the success of this title reign. But of course they have to get through tonight and the Revival in front of them. But now Xavier Woods, what's he doing here? Xavier Woods offering Big E into this matchup, and the Revival protesting to the official. But it looks like the New Day are gonna freebird this. They have brought this up in the past and Big E has declined. But now Xavier Woods is stepping aside and Big E is taking his spot in this matchup. Well, I said the New Day all on the same page would be dangerous, and now it certainly is. The Revival now in the ring with Big E, and Big E, the big belly-to-belly throw. The Revival, certainly one of the smartest teams in the ring, but they were not prepared for the power of Big E here tonight, as now Big E, another belly-to-belly there. But as I said, they brought up freebirding the belts in the past, and Big E didn't want to do it, but now he's doing it here tonight as Kofi Kingston comes off the top. And the New Day now, the three men working like a well-oiled machine, as here comes Kofi Kingston now, taking down Scott Dawson there. And the Revival gonna have to regroup here as Dash Wilder makes the tag now in the ring. But now Kofi the dropkick, and the New Day are just hitting at all points here tonight, as now Kofi Kingston sending Wilder in the corner here. And now Kofi looking for the splash, but Wilder avoids it, and the neck breaker there. Had it scouted, the cover, could not get the pinfall there. But some much needed recovery for the Revival from that opening onslaught from the champions. Now a tag made here to Scott Dawson and the Revival. This is where they thrive, as the German suplex lariat combination from Dawson and Wilder. But this is where a team like the Revival can succeed, isolating one man, using that ring awareness, that IQ, to the best of their abilities. Is now Dawson scooping up over the powerbomb, but Kingston counters, and the Hurricanrana. Dawson was going for that rope-assisted powerbomb, but Kofi Kingston gets out of it there, and now avoids the clothesline, but Kofi goes over the top, and now takes down Scott Dawson. Kofi Kingston now making the tag into Big E. And now, the powerhouse of the New Day, Big E, picking up Scott Dawson. Now the punch is there, setting him in the corner. And now here comes Big E with the splash. Kofi now making the tag. And Xavier Woods cheering him on. That's Kofi now looking for a year, but oh, Dawson gets out of the way and Kofi gets a back for a turnbuckle there. But now here comes Dawson, but Kofi caught him out. That pendulum kick there from Kofi Kingston, and now the crossbody into the cover lateral press. Dawson kicks out. But man, the New Day look impressive tonight. Kofi Kingston and Big E taking it to Scott Dawson here. As Kofi now willing him back to his feet. Kofi looking for the SOS. Dawson no counters, rolls him up. Kofi kicks out of it, but oh, Dawson now a kick in the gut sends Kofi now right into the corner. And Scott Dawson now you see just driving that elbow right to the neck, right to the collarbone area of Kofi Kingston, trying to wear him down here. As now the Revival again double teams with the lariat there from Wilder and the cover on Kingston. Kofi gets the shoulder up though. But the Revival now trying to regain control in this matchup to try and become 3-time tag team champions. Another tag made here, and in comes Scott Dawson with the jabs, and now he fakes out Kofi and caught him with the DDT. Signature offense there from Scott Dawson. And now, again, working together here. Xavier Woods looking on, holding those tag titles tight here, but now the Revival have got Kingston and got him up here. Kofi though, he gets out of it, and now sending Dawson in the corner, and that foils the Revival's plans there. But now here comes Kofi, the athleticism onto the top rope, and oh my god, Kofi Kingston! Hurricane Rana to dash Wilder off the top. What athleticism and agility there from Kingston. Now he's got him, and Kofi the SOS. SOS from Kofi Kingston. Big move there. And now he's got to be thinking of trying to make the tag here. Trying to crawl his way over to Big E. Big E is now reaching out, trying to make the tag. But oh, there's Scott Dawson now in the ring, and he cuts Kofi off. And that again is just the smarts, the intelligence of the Revival, just knowing exactly what to do to prevent that tag. As now Kofi though fights back, and Kofi leapfrogs over, gonna make the tag, but no! Dash Wilder pulls Big E off the apron. But now there's Xavier Woods, and Woods getting in Wilder's face here. Xavier Woods did not like that, as Dash Wilder prevented the tag, and now these two jaw-jacking at ringside. But now Big E does make the tag in the ring, but Dawson the spine buster.
1, 2.
Big E kicks out, but a massive spine buster by Scott Dawson, nearly crowned new tag team champions. This tag division in PTW is stacked, and the Revival looking to claim supremacy of that division once again. As Wilder now picking up Big E, and now Big E though fighting back, drives him in the corner. A tag is made, but Big E doesn't see it. He takes down Dawson with the clothesline, and now going off the ropes, and now Big E with the splash. But the tag was made, and there comes Dash Wilder, the elbow drop right to the spine of Big E. And I believe Kofi saw the tag and tried to warn Big E, but Big E a bit overzealous there, and it may have cost him, as now the Revival, both men on their feet, lying in wait here for Big E, could be looking to finish it off with the Shadow Machine, as Big E on his feet here, the Revival lining it up. But here's Kofi Kingston, Trouble in Paradise. Trouble in Paradise from Kofi. But now Big E sends Dawson to the outside. And the New Day are back in this. As Dawson on the outside, Kofi laid out Wilder with the Trouble in Paradise. And now, Kofi Kingston communicating with Big E here. And Kofi now going to climb up on that second rope. Xavier Woods looking on as Big E has got Dash Walter up. And the Midnight Hour. Midnight Hour from the New Day. And Big E in for the cover.
1, 2, 3.
And the New Day are still your PTW Tag Team Champions. Freebird and all, the New Day finally beat the Revival, and they retain their tag team titles. Kofi Kingston and Big E was the lineup tonight. Kofi and Woods were the lineup at Iron Man. And with this versatility, the New Day now looking stronger than ever as they retain their tag team championships. Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods looking like a unit on top of their game. It got close at times, but the New Day overcome the Revival and are still your tag team champions. Well, the tag division does not stop as HBK booking a new #1 contenders match for next episode. But what also doesn't stop is this PTW women's division, because up next it is Trish Stratus versus Bayley. And this matchup even more interesting because we see the PTW women's champion Asuka sitting at ringside. Now at PTW Iron Man, Asuka successfully defended her championship against China, and now this matchup could prove a good opportunity to find new challengers for the women's championship. Of course, Trish Stratus has been quietly picking up wins here in PTW on Resistance, and now the legend looking for a big victory here on Brutality, going up against Bayley. And this matchup could go a long way in finding a new #1 contender for the Women's Championship. And now here is Bayley. And Bayley, we did see her at PTW Iron Man backstage. Had a little stare down with the women's champion Asuka, and Bayley, now you see, just talking a bit of trash there to the women's champion. But Bayley is not the only woman who sees Asuka as a target. Of course, we know Chyna came very close to beating Asuka, and Ember Moon set to make her debut very soon here in PTW. And Trish Stratus as well, she's got plenty of wins under her belt, and certainly could be looking to give Bayley trouble here tonight. But this matchup between Bayley and Trish Stratus could go a long way in proving who moves up the ladder here in this emerging women's division. With the women's champion Asuka looking on here tonight as Bayley and Trish Stratus now face to face here in the middle of the ring. And Bayley now showing no respect to the legend, a slap to the face, but Trish Stratus isn't gonna take that. Death press to Bayley, taking her right down to the mat. And now Stratus, a big clothesline there. And Trish not gonna take any disrespect from the role model Bayley. And now Trish Stratus could be looking to end it early, looking for the chick kick, but Bayley gets out of the ring to avoid that one. Bayley wants nothing to do with Trish Stratus. early on in this matchup, and I can't say I blame her. Trish Stratus coming out like a house of fire. But now on the outside, Bayley now face to face with the women's champion Asuka. And Bayley now again back to talking trash to the women's champion. But Bayley, she's got to focus on the matchup at hand here. She's got to focus on Trish Stratus. As now here comes Trish with the baseball slide drop kick, taking Bayley right down to the floor. And you cannot turn your back on a veteran like Trish Stratus for that long. Because as you saw there, Trish made her pay for it. Bayley got too caught up with the women's champion Asuka. Perhaps too focused on that championship, but now you see Trish Stratus getting caught up in it as well. Both women seemingly laying eyes on the champion there. Both these women want to be champion. They want to challenge for that title. But now Trish Stratus going up on the top of Eva. There's Bayley. And Bayley, oh man, bringing Trish Stratus down. And I think the back of her head hit off that turnbuckle. That is unforgiving right there. As now Bayley with that knee right to the head. And Bayley has seemingly found a target now with Trish Stratus, that head and neck area. And now Bayley sending Trish Stratus again into the turnbuckle, in for the cover. Stratus kicks out. But now Bayley has completely changed the tide in this matchup, going after the head and neck of Trish Stratus. But now Stratus is down, and now here comes Bayley with that sliding clothesline there, taking down Trish Stratus. As now Bayley seemingly all focused on her opponent now, picking up Trish Stratus here, and Bayley now just holding her by the hair. Just disrespectful from Bayley. But now Stratus fighting back, blocks the punch, and another. Trish Stratus firing off some shots here. But now ducks a clothesline and the drop kick. Stratus now. And Bayley scurrying to the ring apron there to the ropes, trying to recover. But Trish Stratus gonna go after her here. But now Bayley, oh, a stunner right on the second rope. And again, that neck of Trish Stratus becoming a target for Bayley. And Bayley now could be looking for a high-risk maneuver going up on the top rope here. But now there's Stratus back on her feet. And Trish Stratus with that head scissors off the top. And Bayley comes crashing down.
1, 2.
Bayley gets her shoulder up there. But a big-time move from Trish Stratus. As the women's champion looking on, you wonder if she's impressed with Stratus now. As Stratus now in control and could be looking again for the chick kick. She missed it earlier, but now going for it again. Bayley ducks underneath and the belly to back suplex. Belly to back suplex there from Bayley. And now the role model back in control of this matchup, and now could be looking for the Bayley to belly here. As Stratus on her feet. Bayley now has got her. Bayley to belly. Stratus gets out of it. And the chick kick. Chick kick from Trish Stratus. She finally lands the move. And Bayley is laid out now on the apron. Asuka looking on here as Trish Stratus could be looking to give Bayley a dose of total stratisfaction. She's got her, and now looking for stratisfaction here off the ropes, but Bayley counters it, and the roast plant from Bayley, and the cover.
1, 2, 3.
And Bayley wins it. Trish went for total stratisfaction, but Bayley threw her off and then hit that rose when she'd been targeting the head and neck all match, and it paid off for her there. A huge win for Bayley, and now it may have been all talk before, but now with a win like that, you have to think Bayley has got her eyes on Asuka and that women's championship. And Asuka staring right back, you know the Empress will not blink in confrontation. But Bayley, a massive victory for her there, as she now eyes the women's championship. And Big E handing that belt back to Xavier Woods. I really do hope he's alright. But now Headless Man standing by to interview with Bayley. An interesting development there as Baker seemingly offering her assistance to Bayley with Ember Moon. But up next it is six-man tag team action. Rey Mysterio, John Cena and The Big Show versus Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley and Christian. And here is the captain of charisma, Christian, coming out here for this six-man tag match. And Christian, he's been in an interesting spot lately. He earned a massive victory over CM Punk and looking to capitalize on that momentum again here tonight, trying to build to some big opportunities for him. But he's got a team with this man, the sadistic Jon Moxley. Christian and Moxley have teamed up before in six-man action, but I wouldn't call the two of them friends, because I don't think a guy like Jon Moxley is friends with anyone. But Moxley, you know he is sadistic, he is barbaric, but he will do just about anything to win. And now the third member of that team, the big dog Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns now teaming up with Christian and Jon Moxley. We know Reigns has walked alone in the past. I don't know how he'll fare in a team in this situation. But Roman Reigns, you know he's a powerful superstar, former United States champion. But speaking of power, we have the world's largest athlete, the Big Show, coming down to the ring. And the Big Show, again, this 6-man match really looking like a bit of a showcase, a bit of a proving ground for all these superstars trying to prove they are ready for that next level and challenging for championships. And speaking of being ready for the next level, we have this man John Cena, who Shawn Michaels has challenged to prove himself. He did so with a victory over the Big Show, which earned the respect of the Giant, but it has not earned the respect of the locker room, as you see Roman Reigns staring down with Cena there. A lot of egos here, but this man certainly has a right to an ego, the new United States Champion Rey Mysterio. And if you missed his victory at PTW Iron Man over Braun Strowman, I would implore you to watch back that matchup and see the absolute onslaught that Mysterio overcame to win that championship. It was a true David overcoming Goliath situation as he won that title. But now kickstarting his reign with this 6-man tag matchup here tonight. Rey Mysterio, John Cena, and the Big Show, Christian, Jon Moxley, and Roman Reigns. Two interesting teams, a lot of guys ready to prove themselves here tonight. Mysterio and Christian now starting things off here. Leave with a walk-up, but there Mysterio caught him with the kicks and the punch there. And now the luchador coming off the ropes, sliding under the clothesline, and another punch there. But now Christian turns around the Irish Whip, sending Mysterio in the corner there. And now Mysterio, though, caught Christian with the kick there, and now Cena making the tag. John Cena now with the punches of Christian, sending him off the ropes here, and Cena with the hip toss. Cena and Christian also have a bit of history here, as now Cena picking up Christian, bringing him in the corner, and the tagman with the Big Show. But now the Captain of Charisma being isolated here as the Big Show now. That massive chop to the chest, and now the Giant gonna just throw Christian across the ring. And that is raw power. That's something you can't teach. He's 7 foot tall, 400 pounds, the Big Show. But now Roman Reigns getting into the ring. And if there's anyone that can combat the size of the Big Show, you have to think it's the big dog Roman Reigns. But now Reigns going right after the Big Show with no fear. And now Roman coming off the ropes, but the Big Show catching him out of the air. But Roman, though, the boot there. And Roman Reigns trying to get the upper hand on the Giant here. But now Big Show driving him into the corner. But Jon Moxley made the tag there. I don't think Big Show saw it, but now Moxley taking out the legs of the Big Show. And that is certainly one way to get the big man off his feet. And now Jon Moxley again going after Big Show here. But Big Show, though, shoves him away, and the shoulder block. And that's the thing, the Big Show may be too big for a lot of the offense here in this matchup, as now Big Show scooping up Jon Moxley, and he's got him up, and the Big Show! The back body drop there. You saw the hang time Jon Moxley got that time. Landing hard on the mat. And now the Big Show in control, picking up Moxley, but Moxley, though, raking the eyes. Moxley raking the eyes of the Big Show there. And Big Show now on the back foot is Moxley with the sleeper hold. You know there is no length Jon Moxley will not go. Raking the eyes, he will do anything to get the upper hand now with the sweeper. Big Show, though, does get in the corner, making the tag to John Cena. Moxley still with the sleeper locked in. Cena, though, pulling Moxley off, and Moxley though goes for the clothesline, but now here comes Cena. And now vintage John Cena with the shoulder tackles there. And the side suplex, and Cena now calling for it. John Cena, the 5-knuckle shuffle, but no, a huge lariat from Jon Moxley.
1, 2.
And that lariat almost took Cena's head off. As Moxley was ready for it there, a massive lariat. Now the tag made to Roman Reigns. Reigns, the legal man, now sending Cena off the ropes with the Samoan drop. Big time Samoan drop there from the former US champion, and Reigns and Cena do have plenty of history here in PTW. As now Roman Reigns, as Cena gets back to his feet, Roman could be looking to cock his fist, looking for the Superman punch. Cena though ducks underneath, and the suplex. Big suplex there from John Cena. Big suplex there from Cena, and now looking for it again, the 5-knuckle shuffle, and he connects this time. And now both men crawling in the corners, looking for the tag. Roman Reigns now, and Cena makes the tag to Mysterio, and Reigns tags in Christian. But Rey Mysterio now, springboard crossbody, and the United States champion coming out firing, showing no ill effects with his match with Braun Strowman, as Mysterio now Hurricane Rana to Christian right into the corner. But now Christian sends him over the top, but there Rey Mysterio comes back with the forearm, and now Rey Mysterio climbing up, and here's the champion with the senton there. The master of the 619 firing on all cylinders as he takes down the captain of charisma. And now Mysterio with the drop kick, and it sends Christian right into perfect position for Rey Mysterio to dial it up, looking for the 619. Christian though avoids it, and now looking for the kill switch. Here he's got Mysterio. Mysterio though drives him in the corner, but a tag was made there, a tag made by Jon Moxley, and now Moxley has got Mysterio and the X-Plex. X-Plex from Moxley is not enough as Mysterio kicks out, but that certainly did a number on the United States champion. And Jon Moxley now eyeing his prey here, stalking Mysterio. And now Moxley telling John Cena and the Big Show he's gonna end it. He's gonna end it right here. Moxley wants to finish things off for good. And now picking up Mysterio. He's got him now looking for the paradigm shift. But oh, the Big Show! A huge punch there. A knockout blow. And Moxley might be out. Jon Moxley is knocked out from that punch from the Big Show. A knockout blow from the Giant takes out Jon Moxley, but now here's Christian. Christian caught by the Big Show, but there, Superman punch from Roman Reigns, sending Big Show to the outside. A Superman punch stalls the big man, but now there's Cena. Cena and Reigns now going at it. Things are breaking down here. And now Christian and John Cena. But now Cena has got him up. Cena's got Christian and the AA. Attitude adjustment to the outside from John Cena. And Christian now taken out of the equation. But now you see there Roman Reigns eyeing up Cena. Cena doesn't see it. Roman Reigns eyeing up, but there Mysterio comes to the aid with the drop kick. And now Cena getting in the corner. He needs the tag here, and Mysterio makes it. John Cena, the legal man. Cena's in, but a spear A massive spear from Roman Reigns.
1, 2, 3.
And Roman Reigns wins it. Cena made the tag, but you saw Roman Reigns make the tag as well to a knocked out Jon Moxley. And he just cut John Cena in half with that spear. Roman Reigns, he said it, he believes he is better than John Cena, better than all these other guys. And he certainly proved it tonight, leveling John Cena with that spear and picking up the win for his team. Christian and Jon Moxley also get to share the victory tonight, but the spotlight is on that man, Roman Reigns. A massive spear and a massive victory for Roman Reigns. Shawn Michaels and Swerve Strickland dealing with a very angry monster there. But next episode, we have this match made earlier tonight, a number one contenders match for the Tag Team Championships, the Young Bucks versus Rusev and Sheamus. And also, this matchup was just made and now it's official. Next episode, Braun Strowman goes one-on-one with Swerve Strickland. And then this matchup, it is a big one. John Cena and AJ Styles. We saw Cena earlier tonight. And AJ Styles, we know he came up short at Iron Man, but now it is time for our main event. The PTW Championship on the line. Jon Morrison against Sami Zayn. And here is the underdog from the underground, Sami Zayn. He came up short at PTW Iron Man against AJ Styles and Jon Morrison. But now tonight he gets a one-on-one shot at the PTW Championship. There were multiple times in that matchup where I thought Sami Zayn would win the title. Times where I thought AJ Styles would win it as well. It was truly a back and forth excellent matchup where Jon Morrison retained his title. But now here is the PTW champion, and he's got to defend that title again. But if I know anything about Jon Morrison, I know Tonight he welcomes the challenge, because that is what a good champion does. But both these men, you have to imagine, Morrison and Zayn are both not at 100%. You have to imagine they are both still hurting, still nursing wounds from PTW Iron Man. Yet tonight, they put it all on the line again, all for the sake of that PTW Championship. Two fan favorites looking to square off here tonight for the greatest prize in PTW. Morrison and Zayn certainly hold a great deal of respect for each other. We saw that after the match at PTW Iron Man. But now tonight, they gotta go at it again. They lock up, and Morrison takes over with a headlock there, but Zayn now ringing the arm. Morrison rolling around, and now flipping onto his feet, turning it around to the headlock of his own. But now, Morrison on his feet again. Zayn with the headlock. And now, Sami Zayn. That headlock takeover. These two going back and forth to start this matchup here. Morrison now countering with the leg scissors. Zayn though back on his feet, and now Sami Zayn with the arm drags there in the clothesline, and Sami Zayn quickly taking the champion off his feet. And these two eye to eye, there is respect between them, but there is also a competitive desire to be champion. Sami Zayn has come so close to that title in the past. And now they lock up again. Morrison now onto the ropes. Look at the athleticism as Morrison now. The axe handle there, and now single leg drop kick from the champion. As Jon Morrison now going off the ropes, looking for a kick. Zayn though back on his feet. Morrison sends him to the ground. Moonsault, nobody home. And Zayn now the chops to the chest and sends Jon Morrison in the corner. But now Zayn, looking for it already, looking for the haluva kick. Morrison avoids it and sends Sami Zayn to the outside. Sami Zayn saw the opportunity and tried to end this match early with the haluva kick there. Morrison lucky to avoid it that time. As now Morrison on the ring apron. And now the champion flying with their crossbody. The high-risk maneuver, nothing new for Jon Morrison. We know he has that parkour background, and we know he is always looking for the aerial assault. As now, Morrison picking up Sami Zayn, and now could be trying to move him in the turnbuckle, but Zayn turns it around, and Jon Morrison, his head bouncing off that steel turnbuckle post. Zayn now back in the ring, and Sami Zayn now sees the opportunity, and Sami Zayn could be looking to fly. Here he comes, Tope con Hilo. Sami Zayn soaring over the top to take out Jon Morrison. And the crowd already on their feet for these two fan favorites, as Sami Zayn now gonna bring Morrison back to the ring. Of course, a countout would mean Morrison retains the title, and obviously Zayn doesn't want that. Now bringing the champion back into the ring, and Sami Zayn now scooping him up here, and the Michinoku driver.
1, 2.
Michinoku driver, not enough that time. But Sami Zayn now trying to take control of this matchup and become PTW champion, picking up Morrison, and now looking for a suplex here. Morrison though turns it around, and Morrison, that rolling Alabama slam. Big move there from the champion. And now Jon Morrison with the breakdance leg drop.
1, 2.
I obviously mentioned that parkour background, and that's why Jon Morrison can pull off moves like that. It wasn't enough that time, but certainly did damage to the challenger. But now Morrison going off the ropes, looking for the kick here. Sami Zayn avoids it and the roll-up. Morrison kicks out, but now back on their feet. Zayn, Blue Thunder Bomb, Morrison counters. And the Hurricane Rana there for Morrison, countering the Blue Thunder Bomb. Sami Zayn now getting back to his feet. But now Jon Moxley, the PTW champion, in control as he's got Sami Zayn with the disaster kick. Disaster kick there from Jon Morrison. And now the PTW champion waiting for Zayn to get back to his feet here. And now Morrison gonna grab him, could be looking for the Moonlight Drive. Zayn though pushes out, and Zayn Exploder Suplex. Exploder Suplex to Morrison in the corner there. Signature move of Sami Zayn, and Morrison is down, and you know Sami Zayn likes to follow that up with the Haluva kick. We saw him try for it earlier to no avail, but now this time Sami Zayn lining up the champion, looking for the Haluva kick. Can he hit it this time? Here comes Zayn, but Morrison! C4! The C4 from Jon Morrison. That Spanish fly. What a move there to Sami Zayn, and Zayn ran right into it, going for the Haluva kick. And now Morrison has Sami Zayn in the corner and looking for it. Morrison looking for Starship Pain. Nobody home though, he went from his feet, and the Blue Thunder Bomb! Blue Thunder Bomb from Sami Zayn! And Morrison kicks out. Both men putting everything on the line here tonight. As Morrison, exhausted, just rolling to the outside. But now Sami Zayn, he knows he's got to get Morrison back into the ring if he wants to win. But now Sami Zayn on the outside, he's got Morrison lined up through that turnbuckle, and Zayn, but he's caught with the kick from Morrison. Zayn was looking for that DDT where he jumps through the turnbuckle, but Morrison had it scouted with the kick there. Now back in the ring, Jon Morrison, that backbreaker right into the leg sweep. And now the PTW champion regaining momentum in this matchup, picking up Sami Zayn, and now Morrison has got him for the Moonlight Drive. Moonlight Drive from the champion. Zayn kicks out. Both these men trading moves to no avail, but now Morrison looking for Starship Pain. Once again, Zayn is down. Can he hit it? Starship Pain, no! Zayn rolling out of harm's way, and Morrison lands hard on the mat. Morrison now, a hard landing there, but now Zayn has him lined up. Sami Zayn has Morrison right where he wants him. And the Haluva kick! Haluva kick from Zayn! We can see a new champion here! No! Morrison kicks out. Sami Zayn, hands on his head, in pure disbelief. He could not believe that Haluva kick was not enough. But now Sami Zayn, he's got Morrison. Now look at this. Locking in a submission. The Koji clutch locked in on Jon Morrison. The Koji clutch locked in now. Sami Zayn trying to win this by submission, and Morrison trying to crawl to the ropes. Can he get there? He just barely does. Sami Zayn had the Koji clutch locked in there, but Morrison just barely able to get to the ropes and save his title. But now Morrison He is really looking out of it. He went through that triple threat match at Iron Man, and now this match here tonight where Sami Zayn is put him through hell and Morrison barely able to be on his feet, and Zayn looking again for the haluva kick. And this was surely ended. Zayn looking for the haluva kick again, but Morrison sends him right into the turnbuckle, and a big kick there. Jon Morrison now has got Sami Zayn. He's in the corner. Morrison lining it up. Starship Pain! Starship Pain!
1, 2, 3!
And Jon Morrison retains the PTW Championship. Morrison looked like he was completely out of it, and Zayn went for one final shot. But once again, Jon Morrison avoids that haluva kick, and it's that Starship Pain for the victory. He holds that title high, and he's got every reason to. The title defense at Iron Man, and now the title defense here tonight against a very game Sami Zayn. Zayn nearly became PTW champion tonight, and now both men on their feet. And a look shared between the two. And Sami Zayn extending his hand. And a great show of sportsmanship there. A great show of respect between these two men. Two of some of the best in the business. Jon Morrison and Sami Zayn. An excellent matchup. An excellent main event here tonight. Sami Zayn put up one hell of a fight. But it is Jon Morrison who is still PTW champion. And that's gonna be all for this episode of Brutality. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next time. But oh, AJ Styles laying out Sami Zayn. I thought we were about to go off the air, but AJ Styles laying out Zayn, and now Morrison still celebrating. He didn't see it, but now there's AJ Styles on the apron. The phenomenal forearm. Phenomenal forearm to the PTW champion. And AJ Styles certainly making his allegiance known here. After PTW Iron Man, he still has his eyes on Morrison and Zayn and that PTW Championship. AJ Styles laid out the PTW Champion, and now the ultimate disrespect. AJ Styles holding up that championship that he has not won. AJ Styles, once a fan favorite, now holding up that PTW Championship to a chorus of boos.